on that topic, I can just remember different jobs I've worked at where it's like there's never any documentation for any work instructions, just like really basic stuff, like working at like shipping. Like I was a shipping clerk for a prosthetics company, and like I've like doing desktop support stuff. Like just like nothing ever gets written down, so like everybody does it a different way, you know. And it's like when you're the person that says, "Hey, can we do this?" and just like have this work instruction, and then people don't have to think; they just like go to the work instruction and just do it. And then it's like mental energy saved. You're literally encapsulating mental energy into this documentation. People don't have to like think so much. They can just say, "Oh, this is how you do it."
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, with my team, you know, so quick story on this topic. The email calendar, right? Is a tool that a lot of teams have tried to implement or implemented or think they have a good process down. And so many times, 9 out of 10, and we had advocated the same problem where we used a calendar, an actual physical like calendar on our like Outlook or on our Gmail or Google calendars or whatever. Try to use that calendar for tracking these sends and stuff. That was a terrible mistake. Horrible mistake, because it just got really cumbersome. It was just a hot mess looking at it, like it's not working. So we just stripped it all down. This is my wife doing this. This is like this is all benefits to her. But she literally said,
"Props, Chelsea."
Yeah, seriously, props, Chelsea. She stripped it down and just made it into a spreadsheet. And then the spreadsheet turned into this view that looks like a calendar. And now it's free. Now it's open source. Like we're giving it away on navigate.com.
That's sweet.
So people can just take a look at it.
Because you've seen some pretty gnarly calendars.
We've seen some gnarly calendars.
So, like, where do people go wrong most of the time? And, like, if someone's out there listening and they've gone wrong, how do you know that you've gone wrong?
Oh, yeah.
And what does it feel like to go right?
If you're, like, the one person and you're absolutely in love with your calendar, but no one else is in love with the calendar, too, you've done it wrong. Quick facts, you know, like, like if no one else loves the calendar, but it's just you and the team, you're by yourself with your calendar.
It's like it's like in the startup world, like ugly baby syndrome. Like, like everybody thinks their baby's the most beautiful thing.
Oh my God, yeah.
But like when you show it in front of people, that's like when you really get the real story.
It's honest feedback, you know, and that's what I think the problem is that these people that are like, well, we need an email calendar, are usually managers. They're usually the higher ups that are like getting drilled. Like, I need to be able to deliver what's happening this week and next week. And I don't want to keep you guys, you know, the workers and the people that are trying to get the process down for helping this manager look good. I don't want to busy you up. So let me help you and I'll just organize it for you.
Right.
And then they create this calendar and they, you know, it's helping their job, make their life easier. But the process people are like, this is too much, you know, like it's trying to track the time of the send, and if you have to do a resend, if you have to do like move the day of the send, you have to do all these different things, or you're waiting for the list and you're trying to, you know, track that progress of like, is this going to be on time? There's, you know, waiting for the data list, there's waiting for all these processes to happen before you can actually send. You can put a date on the calendar and say this email is going to go on this day. However, if you don't have a creative created, if you don't have a list to send to, you're not hitting that date. Sorry. And you have to make sure there's a way to track that. And, you know, that's project management. Yeah, it's coordination, right? And you're working with various teams. You're working with the IT department to pull the list. Maybe you're pulling, you know, the creative from an agency side and creating that creative. And it might only be like a Photoshop file, and then it has to be transformed into an HTML file. So now we're talking already 4 teams before it gets delivered. So, and then you want to know if it's been scheduled, is it, you know, where's the reporting at, after it's been sent.
So many moving parts, and so what you're saying is this calendar
is a simple spreadsheet with a way to phase through the statuses that works for your team. Or you know, standard ways for our team. And you just So
you guys use this too?
Oh yeah, we use it for every one of our clients.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and even the clients that had thought they had awesome calendar systems adopted ours and they're like, this is so much better. This is so much more cleaner.
So you're like open sourcing this really valuable tool.
Yeah, documentation. Open source documentation.
Boom.
Yeah. I mean, if other agencies and other consultants have good documentation, please open source it.
Right.
Like, please let us know what's working. Like,
exactly.
Like, what is working? Because this works for us.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about, finding something that is so easy to implement, that is so easy to talk about, that's such a common problem in the email marketing space, to say, just download it. Like, just try it.
Yeah.
Like, you've never heard of Avigate until you need an email calendar.
Boom.
Yeah. Right?
Right. And you guys do all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I mean, and a lot of it's documentation driven, just because there's so much value in doing that. It's
yeah. Well, when as developers, software engineers in my team, we always we're in a weird spot because we're software engineers and also we're like mini CEOs of each other. So
what does that mean?
Well, like, Ovi is the owner of Blocks Edit, right? He's the creator and founder of Blocks Edit. But I met him. He's a software engineer. I mean, designer guy, software guy. He's not a business-minded guy.
Gotcha.
Like, he is the user experience, wants to make your life easier.
He's crafting. This.
We're not out here to make $1 million. We're out here to just make your lives easier.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha.
And that's the goal.
And that's why you guys are a perfect pair.
Yeah, we met up at a meetup. Like, that's how we met. Is at a meetup in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, yeah.
And we're saying, you have something. Let's try to work together and making something better out of it.
Yeah.
And then that's how we became business partners in the Blocks Edit space, which is a drag and drop email builder.
Yeah.
And there's other ones out there, but are they as passionate in building really good emails as maybe the Avigate and Blocks Edit team is?
So, like, tell me a little bit about Blocks Edit, just now that we're on that topic. Like what differentiates it?
What differentiates it? So one of the biggest things, one of the frustrations that I've always had growing into this building a business and seeing clients and advocating for clients is that they get vendor locked in, meaning that you build your creative, you build your design, you build your images, and then you put them all in the system and you're not able to get it out.
Really?
Yeah. So there's some vendors that will take your, templates and code and then transform it to what makes their systems work for you.
Okay.
So they modify your templates, and it's like it baked into their drag and drop builders and their systems, and it's in that process. And it's not just drag and drop builders, but it's also like Marketing Cloud.
Sure.
There's proprietary scripts that only work for Marketing Cloud, just like there's only proprietary scripts that works for MailChimp. So you're kind of in that proprietary vendor, like you have to do some work to make some changes. So with Blocks Edit, our mentality is that we're not vendor locked in. What you build, you add some CSS classes around your HTML. Those CSS classes activate the drag and drop ability in. And if you want to turn off your subscription Blocks Edit, you have all your HTML, have all your images, have all your stuff for you to download and put into a different tool.
Wow. So
Blocks Edit is just an editor. We're just offering the power to edit your emails easily.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's really, getting to that level as software engineers, trying to make this like intuitive for other engineers and developers so that they can just add some simple CSS classes and not have to do all this reading of documentation of how to implement.
Learn a whole new thing when you're already an expert in these other things.
Yeah.
It really empowers someone who's already good at these specific.
So our product is for other developers to make their lives easier.
Gotcha.
The competitors are more for like the marketers, and they're targeting the marketers to say, hey, we want to use this tool. We bought into this tool. So you're going to do this. Right. You're going to learn this, and you're just going to do it. Boom. But if a developer found our tool, they're like, this is so much easier to implement. Yeah. Like it'd be a night and day difference.
Yeah, I totally know. I know a little bit what you mean just from building my own website. Like I was going to try and do a quick and easy one with doing like there's so many drag and drop editors and and you hear all these ads about Squarespace, Wix, and I'm like, well, it could be easy because I wanted to just get it up quick, right? I went in there and I realized how efficient code was in like HTML5, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just hate this, and started getting in the code. I could edit everything, and I was like, oh, and I had it up in like half the time. I was like, it really is once you, and it's like if you're a professional HTML, CSS, all that stuff good, having to learn this other crappy interface or like this other slower interface that's designed for people without that skill set, it just makes sense that having an interface designed for somebody with this skill set, and they can just go, right? And you're really held back by these very elaborate tools of the drag and drop stuff.
That's a big topic too. Like you're talking about like the padding and the borders.
And
there's all these little options and buttons and things. Ovi did a really good job at that interface design where he kept it all away.
Yeah.
And it's gone. And a lot of feedback we get from when we do demos and stuff is people look at it and they're like, so where's my padding control? Where's my color options? Well, just like in normal world, you have to talk to your developer and change the colors.
Right.
But once that developer makes that change and that option available to you, it's there and it's perfect.
Right.
It will work for every email client going forward.
Yeah.
It's static. It's static. And you can say, I want a black and I want a red, I want a white button, and you have 3 style options, and it's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and that's really beautiful, especially from like an admin standpoint, or like the other people in that marketing team that want to make sure all those colors, all those fonts, all those classes are the same.
Yep.
It's like, okay, it's set.
Yep.
And then everybody else does their job. And
I really think, the future and the evolution of like development and design is that designers that are in Photoshop and things like that are going into this web space or in this web space, they need to start learning HTML and CSS.
Yeah.
It's a bold statement, but it's a true statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the worlds are converging, right? It's like marketing is so technical these days.
Yeah.
Like I worked at a university for a while, and I'm on some boards there, and like my degree personally is split between the business college and the engineering college because there's a lot of overlap in the IT field, but it's even more so now. Like it's just they're merging. Business and technology are just getting more and more integrated, and there needs to be kind of a cross-pollination of skill sets for sure. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. And a lot of times what we see is like in the email marketing creative process is that if it's too hard to build an email, they'll go backwards and start making their emails all image heavy. So all of the email is based on images from top to bottom. Because
is that good or bad, or was that like a sign of something?
It's not great. It's definitely, like I said, going backwards in time. Like we were definitely advocating for going towards textual, right, and getting smarter and better text so that we can do the things like machine learning and the NLP processing and the various things around machine learning and artificial intelligence around the
much
content.
Harder to do AI for pictures.
For pictures is much harder. Yeah, you can do it. Don't get me wrong. You can definitely do. And you can say there's a person smiling, and it can see that and detect that, but you don't want your entire email to be all image heavy.
Yeah, I understand. I remember seeing a presentation on picture recognition, and it was like just trying to teach an AI to identify dogs. It was like dog, and there's a potato, and it's like that's also a dog, right? Potato, dog, little bit different.
Yeah,
but like I was saying, like.
You had an epiphany,
like, because I'm not an email marketing professional. I've done a lot of work in media. I've done a lot of work in tech, but email has always kind of been this thing I know is important, and a lot of people do, but it's like I don't fully understand what it is. But fundamentally, it's just another mode of communication, and you want to you're encoding a message, and you're trying to get a desired response, right?
Yeah.
And coding and encoding is the fundamentals of interpersonal communication, and you're just using this medium of digital messaging, email, to engage in that, So it's just about learning the nuances of that method.
And what's very interesting.
So teach me your ways.
Is I'm big in I've always liked. I found that I've always liked psychology and sociology.
Right.
So I like behavioral science. So I like to know like how many times do you open the email and why do you open the email that many times?
Right.
And does it really trigger you to buy, or does it just really annoy you? And the end of the day, like, and you just bailed on the company and because you got too many emails. Right. I don't think. Yeah. I don't know. I love to hear a customer like my mother be like, I'm never shopping here because I've gotten so many emails from this person. Like, That's not my dinner talks with my mom sometimes. I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with anybody that says, "Oh, I got so many emails, I'll never buy from these people ever again."
Yeah.
Like, you think about it,
That's a good question.
and a lot of people are so sensitive. Like, are we sending too much? Are we doing too much?
Yo, but honestly though, that's a topic though. It's like how people view email. Because I mean, you got I don't know if you're one of these people, but like the zero inbox people.
Yeah.
Like those are the people that get really peeved about email quantity, right?
Right.
Are you a zero inbox person?
I am not.
I am not. I have so many like people. I give people anxiety when I show them my phone.
But I do go tone deaf.
What is that? Oh, they just like.
So I stop seeing the message.
Yeah. Same. I'm that.
Yeah. Like, it's just,
Yeah. I mean,
too many in my inbox.
My Gmail account shows 48,000.
Yeah, I'd be around there too.
Yeah, like see.
Yeah, 48,000 unread. That's
unread.
Yeah, I have a couple inboxes that are they're almost maxed out.
Yeah,
to say the least, and yeah, there that's why you get a new one. It's the average is every 5 to 7 years people get a new mailbox, an email address.
Yeah, and that's like my original Gmail account. That's essentially my spam email account now.
Yeah,
like that was the email.
But you have another one, and now like all marketers are like, "What's your new email address?"
Right. Yeah.
Like, give us your updated one.
I mean, my Gmail is so old. Like, I got that when you had to refer a friend. To get Gmail, you had to like get a referral. Like, that's how old that email has been around for a minute.
You're on all the hacker sites, so your email address is completely exploited.
Yeah, I could have gotten Jordan at gmail.com, but I was like, no, that's going to be...
That's too noisy. That's just going to be a lot of spam.
Yeah. I was like, I could have got that, but I was like, no.
Was it Jordan with a G?
That would be Gordon, and that's a different name.
True. This is why I'm not a creative designer,
the
content
AI
grammar guy.
Just identified that and put you in a certain audience of dummies.
All right, Georgian or Jordan.
Georgina?
Yeah, Georgina.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Hi,
well,
my name is Georgina.
You almost said actual Jordan with JORDAN at gmail.com.
I could have had that. Yeah. But
really?
Yeah. It was that early. That's how old that email address is.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's why I have 48,000 messages and never check. Well, it's almost like a social media feed at this point.
I'm trying to remember what it was like registering
through.
for Gmail back in the day, like the first Google accounts.
It felt special. I'll say that.
Everything feels special. Like all things felt special with Google and Apple back then.
It was so actually. It
was just really.
I
Google.
do remember it.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I got it, I was excited, and because I had a Yahoo before.
Yeah.
Right, and I still have that Yahoo. That's like out there collecting, all. Like 100% spam. There's only spam going to that. Guaranteed.
Was it an invite only back then with Gmail, where you had to get invited to be able to create a free account?
Yep,
that makes sense because that's what a lot of Google things are. It's like get invited to this secret club.
Yeah. They did. I don't see them doing that too much anymore. Just because.
It'll have. It's always going to have a thing.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Look at the apps, right? Like Clubhouse, right? Is the Yeah, that's all. Got to have a friend to get you in.
That's true. That's true. I will say I'm kind of a fan of Clubhouse. I learned some things from Clubhouse.
Is this going on in Clubhouse? Is that the plan?
We can do a Clubhouse at some point.
Nice.
But Clubhouse is all live.
Oh yeah, it's the live stuff.
Yeah, you don't put recorded stuff up there. But
yeah.
But we should do a Clubhouse sometime. I'm sure there's an Email Geeks.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's fun stuff. But I mean, dude, I learned a lot. This has definitely been a good email marketing 101.
I don't even know. There's so much more 101 stuff we could talk about, I'm guessing. But yeah, it has been good. It has been
at least a good first toe in the water.
Yeah, otherwise it will be people trying to listen to our podcast for the rest of their lives,
which is the goal. You're locked in, people. The rest,
we know all the answers. We know all the secrets.
He knows all the answers.
No,
I'm just here to ask questions.
I'm looking forward to the feedback that we get from the community.
Definitely.
So it's that's big is hearing what other people want to hear about on this podcast and getting really good about finding the best way to present that topic.
Totally.
So let's get better.
Cool, man.
At presenting email.
I'm into it.
Over video.
All right.
Audio.
Well,
podcasting.
This has been episode 1.
E.M.U.
E.M.U.
All right.
All right. Later.